the series in the description. I'm using the same criteria that I used in my previous videos for this as well. Take a moment and pause and look at it if you need to. But let's just recap players 16 through 11. I had Shea at 16, Ant-Man, Anthony Edwards at 15, Jamal Murray at 14, John Moran at 13A, Anthony Davis at 13B because I had to squeeze him in here because I left him off the list by accident, Devin Booker at 12, and then Damian Lillard at 11, alright? So let's jump straight into it, man. At number 10, I have Kawhi Leonard, who averaged 24, 6, and 4. Now, I am actually surprised his regular season stats dipped that low. He did average 34, 6, and 6 in 2 games in the playoffs. Now, I can't really give him too much credit for the postseason because he only played 2 games, but that is going to be part of my reasoning why I still have him in the top 10. I'm really shocked that so many people have Kawhi outside the top 10. I think I've seen him in like the 20s, or like the top 20, or even the 30s once, if I'm not mistaken. It was probably on Twitter, but still, the fact that people don't have Kawhi at least as a top 15 player is shocking, man. He's still one of the best two-way superstars in the game. In those playoffs, even though it was only 2 games, it just shows you a glimpse of what a really fully healthy Kawhi can do. Because if the Clippers never got injured in the playoffs with PG and Kawhi, I think they would have beat Phoenix this year in the postseason. So I'm expecting Kawhi to go back to his fully healthy self and to resemble how he looked in the playoffs more than he did in the regular season. Alright, so at number 9, I have Joel Embiid. Now, he did average 30 and 10 in a regular season and was the MVP. However, his playoff stats dipped to 24, basically 10 and 3 blocks. So his stats dipped pretty significantly. Now, the biggest reason why I can't put Embiid any higher is because he always loses to all the top elite players in the Eastern Conference. I see so many people have Joel Embiid in their top 5s, and I'm like, how the hell is he in your top 5 when every single year when it matters most, he's either injured or he loses to the other elite player in the conference. He's 0-2 against Jimmy Butler in the playoffs. He loses every year to Jason Tatum in the Celtics in the playoffs. He never faced Giannis in the playoffs, but if he did, I think it's safe to say that 80% of NBA fans would choose Giannis to beat Embiid in the playoffs. So I don't understand how everybody has him so high when he literally loses to all the best players in the conference. And he's always injured. He's actually been a little bit more relatively healthy over the last couple years compared to his past. And I do have to give him credit for winning MVP. So I still have him as a top 10 player, obviously. But every single player I'm going to name from here on out debatably has had has had more success in the playoffs, and their regular seasons are just as comparable or close. And I told y'all I value big games and playoffs more than I do regular season. That's why I didn't have Jaylen Brown in the top 15. I had him in like 21.
Blazers here, another fresh 24. Joel Embiid had the final word.
The year, and it's where teams lock in on your weaknesses. Okay, so at number 8, we have Kevin Durant, KD, who averaged 29, 6, and 5 in the regular season, and then 29, 9, and 5 in the postseason. Now, I know Kevin Durant did not nearly dominate as much as Embiid in the regular season, but I will say this: who would you trust to lead your team in the postseason, Joel Embiid or Kevin Durant? The answer is Kevin Durant. Alright, so he's better. If you value somebody in bigger games in the most important time of the season, that means you think they're better, alright? And that's my logic. Even though Embiid got regular season MVP, I'm taking Kevin Durant 9 times out of 10 over Joel Embiid, especially in the playoffs. His ability to create separation, put up big points. He's still averaging basically 30 while playing alongside another elite scorer in Devin Booker. Alright, so number 7, I have Jason Tatum, who's averaging 38 and 4 in the regular season, and 27, 10 and a half, and 5 in the playoffs. Now, I have Kevin Durant below Jason Tatum because Kevin is like, I think like 8-3 against him, or like 10-4, something like that. And the only reason why he has those 3 or 4 losses against Kevin Durant is because that was when Jaylen Brown was injured in the playoffs, and the Nets beat the Celtics 4-1 with no Jaylen Brown. But when Jason Tatum and Brown are healthy, he's undefeated against KD. And the last time you saw the Nets and Celtics healthy, the Celtics swept him, and Jason Tatum was the best player on the court easily, and he was the best defender. So I think Jason Tatum has elevated himself past Kevin Durant at this point in time, and it's crazy because so many people think Kevin Durant is better. What has Kevin Durant done? Alright, now I have to put Jimmy Butler above Tatum because, and you can see the stats on the screen, but every time Jimmy Butler goes against Jason Tatum, he's coming into the series with a worse team on paper, yet somehow the series always ends up going 6 or 7 games, and he's actually 2-1 against Jason Tatum and the Boston Celtics. From my perspective, I would say that Jimmy Butler pretty much outplays Jason Tatum every series that they met each other in the conference finals, and that's 3 times, and Jimmy Butler is 2-1. Jimmy Butler's a better passer, he's better under pressure, he's more clutch. He knocked out Giannis in the first round as an 8th seed. Jason Tatum is not leading anybody and doing anything like that with the team that Jimmy Butler has, especially with no Tyler Hero. That's insane. People need to start putting respect on Jimmy Butler's name. I hate how, because Jimmy Butler isn't a pure scorer, that they choose players like Kevin Durant over him. Kevin Durant doesn't do anything better than Jimmy Butler besides shooting, free throw shooting, mid-range shooting, and 3-point shooting. Defending and interior and perimeter defense is Butler. Leadership, Butler. Steps up, who steps up more in the playoffs? Butler. Like I said, Kevin Durant has played with all that elite talent and hasn't got out of the second round, really. Jimmy Butler made it to 2 finals with worse teams. Alright, so at 5, I have LeBron James. LeBron. Now, I still have LeBron as a top 5 player. He is at number 5, as you can see right here. So many people barely have LeBron in the top 10 now. I think I've seen him at number 9 a few times. I saw ESPN, we're going to get into that. We're going to destroy their rankings in a future video. But LeBron, to me, is still more valuable than Tatum or Butler. If you told me who do I trust more in the playoffs to lead my team, Tatum or LeBron James, I'm taking LeBron. I'm also taking LeBron over Jimmy Butler just because of the IQ. LeBron James still has the highest IQ in the league currently, even more than Jimmy Butler. He can facilitate just like Jimmy, but he's stronger and more unstoppable going to the rim. Alright, at 4, number 4, I have Luka Doncic, who averaged 32, 8 and 8 in the regular season. Now, he didn't make the playoffs. A lot of that was the team. The team had too many issues. There's not enough rebounding, not enough defense. So I'm not going to count it against Luka. This is more so off the eye test. I think Luka is better than LeBron at this point. He just does more. I don't want to say he's more dependable, but he's just as dependable. He's had battles with Kawhi at a young age, so he's poised. He's experienced. He does have playoff experience, even though he didn't make it last year. But yeah, he's a 3-level scorer. LeBron is probably still slightly better on the defensive end than Luka, but I just think Luka at this point, he's just doing things statistically that LeBron isn't even doing now. So for that, I'm gonna put Luka over LeBron, but that could be either or. If you have LeBron over Luka still, I can't get too mad at that. It's LeBron James, you feel me? But I just think this is gonna be the first year where LeBron James is recognized more better than LeBron. Alright, so at number 3, I have Stephen Curry, who made his 9th All-Star game, and in the playoffs, he averaged 30.6 assists and 5 rebounds. Now, I know Stephen Curry was knocked out by LeBron James, but I think Stephen Curry at this point in time brings a little bit more value than LeBron. The reason why the Warriors lost to the Lakers wasn't because LeBron just completely dominated. It was more so about Anthony Davis just being the enforcer and the interior presence on the defensive end, and they were just a bigger team. They had too many mismatches. It was harder for the Warriors to score than the Lakers. But anyway, Stephen Curry's the greatest shooter ever. He's probably has the second best handles in the league after Kyrie. He could score on all 3 levels, and his range is so far that he messes up your defense, man. He forces your defense to step out 32 feet from the basket, man. And the way he plays off the ball, nobody else does that in the league. I feel like his impact is just big. It's slightly better than LeBron's at this point. just to show y'all how much his stats dipped. Everybody knows he lost to Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler dominated. That's why I can't put him number one, because he got dominated. Jokic has never got dominated ever, and Jokic beat the team that knocked out Giannis in 5 games. I just can't put Giannis. I understand that Giannis is considered a better two-way player than Jokic, but that doesn't mean any two-way players aren't as valuable as they used to be, especially in today's generation. Think about it. Jason Tatum is a better two-way player than Luka, but is Jason Tatum better than Luka? No. Same things apply with Giannis and Nikola Jokic. I have Nikola Jokic at 1 because I know that even though Giannis is technically a better two-way player, it's not about being a two-way player. It's being about how unguardable are you in the playoffs when it matters most. Giannis still has weaknesses that Jokic doesn't have. Jokic doesn't have them. You can't sag off Jokic. You can't back off and force him to shoot 30-foot jumpers or 25-foot jumpers. He can make those. He's a better post-up player, has better footwork than Giannis. So that's why I have Jokic at 1 and Giannis at 2, because Jokic at the end of the day is more unstoppable. He's a better passer, better organizer of the offense, and at the end of the day, when it matters most, Nikola Jokic has less weaknesses than Giannis